number of years ago, I just tried to actually list qualities of different levels of experiencing. And I think one was sort of pre-personal, more biological. One was personal, and then one was, more spiritual path capacities. And there were, I came up with maybe about 15 or 20 in each category. So it's not just one or two things, but a couple central things, I think, are that in the pre-personal biological level of experiencing, which we all have, we tend to go for immediate survival as our highest priority, especially when threatened. We tend to be identified with our experience. We tend toward black and white, all or nothing organization. We tend to cue off of others, sort of have a certain type of constant vigilance. We want immediate resolution. We want to put safety and security as our highest priority, things like that. Adult maturity, adult capacities might have to do with pulling back the location of both one's disturbance and therefore one's personal power back to oneself, away from projecting our issues onto others, both positive and negative. A tolerance of more complexity, less black and white organization, tolerance of delayed gratification, some tolerance of a complex sense of self rather than a simplistic version of who we are, some degree of tolerance of emotional vulnerabilities, things like that. As far as a spiritual path list of capacities, I would say a progressive disidentification with one's experiencing so that we have our experience rather than be identified with it. More of a tendency to live in our immediate experiencing rather than past and future plans or dramas. A tolerance of returning to the truth of one's immediate experience over and over and over again, which has to include experience we don't like as being just as valid as experience we do like. Tolerance of resting in uncertainty or not knowing or openness. Sort of it's hard to describe exactly, but an ability to hold contradictory experience simultaneously with no resolution, including the sense that our experience is somehow real and at the same time is without any objective reality to it. So that's not an intellectual capacity, it's an experiential capacity. Probably a gradual dissolution of our fantasy of being a separate self. And with that, probably more spontaneous compassion. Doesn't mean we have to act a certain way, but more sense of we're all just an expression of life. I don't know, that's what's popping into my mind at the moment.